Hello guys, and welcome to your 16th Java tutorial on multiple constructors. Well, in the last tutorial we just kind of took a look at regular constructors and how they could help us save time, so we can already set some properties of the objects in the same line as when we're creating the object. That's what we did in the last tutorial. By the way, we can just delete this piece of code from the last tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're going to be going over multiple constructors. And what that basically means is that, well, what if instead of just setting this name here, this name variable, what if we also wanted to set the power variable for each of our player objects, right? Well, in the same line of code, of course. So we could actually modify our constructor here, and instead of just passing in for our constructor a string with the name of n and setting it equal to our name global variable for the class, we could actually make another integer int p, and we can pass in a certain variable for the power, I don't know, for p, and we can set it equal to the power variable of our class. So really nice and simple. This is all it does. It just changes our constructor. Now check it out. We can set power levels for each of our characters simply by putting a comma in and then the power level that you want your player to have. So really nothing too different than entering pretty much arguments into a method. That's exactly how we make constructors here. But what if, for example, what if the user didn't want to set the power level? He just wanted to set the name for our player, right? Well, whoa, then we've got a problem. We can delete the power level here, the power level code that we just added on, but that would kind of, limit our abilities with just one constructor. Well, turns out we can have more than one of these constructors, or more than one way that we can initialize our objects, more than one method we could call. And let me just type this code for a second. I'll explain it right after I'm finished typing. So turns out we can make another constructor, and the name of that constructor will be exactly the same as the name of our class. That's how a constructor is defined. But, alright, one second. But they are differentiated by how many arguments they have. Alright, guys? So, what we just did, we created more or less two identical methods. How does the compiler tell them apart? Well, by the number of arguments that it has. This one only has one string argument. This one has a string and an integer argument. So it looks for one of these constructors looks for the right constructor when we initialize our object right here. So player 1 is equal to new player. Alright, we have a string here and the power level. It says, well, what constructor has a string and a power level? Oh, look, this one does. So I'll just do the code in here. But what if, say, we just wanted to put in a name, and it says, alright, only one name variable. Alright, I'm looking for it. Oh, here we go. String n, bam. It finds it and it does the code in this constructor. So only it's something called overloaded constructors, which pretty much means that not even overloaded constructors, just multiple constructors. There's something different in Java called overloaded methods, which is pretty much the same concept, except where methods have the same names and the compiler can only tell them apart by the number of arguments. But for constructors, it's just natural because this has to be present for this thing to be called a constructor. So remember, uh, different time, different types of arguments, different constructors. And just for fun, let's make another third constructor. Say if the person that was initializing the object didn't want to do anything at all, he could just leave it completely blank with no arguments at all. And now if we delete all arguments, it's not giving us an error because it says, well, no arguments. Alright, constructor with no arguments, here we go. Bam. Does nothing. So I hope you guys realize that when we're actually calling these constructors, we're actually calling different methods. Well, not even method, different constructors from our player class. So I'm simply once again, sorry, repeating myself, told apart by the number of arguments they have. So I don't know. I've tried to be pretty clear there. Kind of too clear by repeating myself, but let's just test this out. Let's see. System.out.println. Let's see if I can type this right. Alright, so we can type p1 dot, let's use our getter, get name, and we can also make a space here, and we can also get the power. Get the power level of our p1 character. And if we run this program, we can see that they are already pre-initialized from when we created our P1 instance, P1 class, which is an instance of player, and it's pre-initialized with Billy, Ryan, Bob, and 4. Also, we can see that if we try to print out some of Joe's values, for example, we won't get anything because they are not initialized in the actual constructor. I don't know. I think that's kind of obvious, but just for fun, let's call the getter for the getName method and try to print something out, and we will get absolutely nothing or null. Null is when a certain variable isn't pointing to anything, or it's not even it has no information in it. That's pretty much what null means in programming. That's just to kind of, we'll go over more about that. We'll go, gosh, I'm sorry guys, I can't talk at all today. Uh, we'll go, we'll go over the null keyword slash what it means later in this series. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This pretty much wraps up this kind of 3-part tutorial slash continuation. I will be starting on something new next time. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, guys, but thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Peace.